sound like you're far away. Your mic. You gotta down your throat and say.
Can you hear me?
Now, a little bit. Are you alcoholic? You sound like a white alcoholic.
Is that a projection alert? Are you white?
Most white people are alcoholics, so it's not a projection. It's more of
An accurate analysis.
no. It's more like either assumption or analyzing. Like your throat sounds raspy, like you smoke a lot of cigarettes.
Projection alert.
Drink a lot of Budweiser.
No, I like Bud Light, sir.
Bud Light, same thing.
What do you think about Miller High Life?
About who?
Miller High Life.
Miller High Life, I think it's a piece of shit.
You don't like Miller High Life? It's the king of beers.
No, I think all beer is disgusting.
Why is that? What do you think about it?
Because it's just the way the white man gets off of people's addictions. Because everyone knows alcohol contributes to tens of thousands of deaths every year.
Did you say deaths? Deaths.
Yes, people dying.
Deaths.
Everyone knows they either having kidney disease or liver disease because of alcohol, and then they're having the car accidents because most white people they drive drunk.
Yeah.
Just the facts are, you look at the numbers of DWI, that's a white crime. Everyone knows that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like child pedophilia. Everybody knows that's a white crime.
What makes it white?
That they're the ones who like doing it. They are the largest number of the people who do it.
White crime.
Just like in Europe, when they try to lie about the Pakistani animals, they rape the children or breed the little girls. Yeah, that happens. But the reality is that it's the white fucking Viking Anglo-Saxon that does most of the child raping over there.
White criminals.
The Pakistani savages.
Where do you get your crime statistics numbers from, sir?
From the UN, you get them from Amnesty International, you can get them from Save the Children, from all different type of people who document these crimes. And who've been doing it for probably as long as you've been alive.
Wow. Well, sir,
everyone knows these are white crimes.
You've earned yourself a moderator badge. Congratulations.
What happened when I read?
I'm gonna update the room title to Resistance versus the White Man.
No, Resistance versus the White Savages.
The White Savages.
Donald Trump said he'll fuck his own daughter if she wasn't his daughter, so that just goes to show you the minds of white people. He was asked multiple times if Ivanka wasn't his daughter, what would he do? He said he would eat her ass.
We are talking to Resistance versus the White Savages. Do you think Donald Trump is a white savage?
Oh, he's worse than the savage. That's like a compliment for him. Donald Trump is a real piece of scum. Trump is worse than AIDS and cancer put together.
So if you put cancer and AIDS in a viral injection, you get Donald Trump? He left.
Then she told me the story, and that's I referred her to someone else. But that's how it came out. Was she told me the whole story, and I believed her. It's pretty messed up.
Yeah.
Damn, we don't have to report it. So it's mandatory reporting is like, it's pretty clear that then it's the same today, that like you can't, like, unless it's like an active threat, like, or an imminent threat to the public or her, like, so like if it was like several years ago,
The virtue of
it's
selfishness,
not
the
mandatory.
monument builders, page 102. The desire for the unearned has two aspects. The unearned in matter and the unearned in spirit. By spirit, I mean man's consciousness. These two aspects are necessarily interrelated, but a man's desire may be focused predominantly on one or the other. The desire for the unearned in spirit is the more destructive of the two, and the more corrupt. It is a desire for unearned greatness. It is expressed but not defined by the foggy murk of the term prestige. The seekers of unearned material benefits are merely financial parasites, moochers, looters, or criminals who are too limited in number and in mind to be a threat to civilization, until and unless they are realized and legalized by the seekers of unearned greatness. Unearned greatness is so unreal, so neurotic a concept that the wretch who seeks it cannot identify it even to himself. To identify it is to make it impossible. He needs the irrational, undefinable slogans of altruism and collectivism to give a semi-plausible form to his nameless urge and anchor it to reality. To support his own self-deception more than to deceive his victims, the public interest, service to the public, are the means, the tools, the swinging pendulums of a power luster's self-hypnosis. Since there is no such entity as the public, since the public is merely a number of individuals, any claimed or implied conflict of the public interest with private interests means that the interests of some men are to be sacrificed to the interests and wishes of others. Since the concept is so conveniently undefinable, its use rests only on any given game's ability to proclaim the public, sieste moi, and to maintain the claim at the point of a gun. No such claim has ever been or can ever be maintained without the help of a gun, that is, without physical force. But on the other hand, without their claimed gunmen, would remain where they belong, in the underworld, and would not rise to the councils of state to rule the destinies of nations. There are two ways of claiming that the public sieste moi. One is practiced by the crude material parasite who clamors for government handouts in the name of a public need and pockets what he has not earned. The other is practiced by his leader, the spiritual parasite, one who derives his illusion of greatness like a fence receiving stolen goods from the power to dispose of that. In Rand, the virtue of selfishness, page 103, the monument. Of the two, the material parasite is psychologically healthier and closer to reality. At least he eats or wears his loot. But the only source of satisfaction open to the spiritual parasite, his only means to gain prestige, apart from gain, is the most wasteful, useless, and meaningless activity of all public monuments. Greatness is achieved by the productive effort of a man's mind in the pursuit of clearly defined rational goals. But a delusion of grandeur can be served only by the switching, undefinable chimera of a public monument, which is presented as a munificent gift to the victims whose forced labor or extorted money had paid for it, which is dedicated to the service of all and none, owned by all and none, gaped at by all and enjoyed by none. This is the ruler's only way to appease his obsession, prestige. Prestige in whose eyes? In anyone's. In the eyes of his tortured victims, of the beggars in the streets of his kingdom, of the bootlickers at his court, of the foreign tribes and the rulers beyond the borders. It is to impress
Wow,
all those
yeah.
eyes, the eyes of
Right.
everyone and no
Yes.
one, that the blood of generations of subjects has been
I
spilled
think
and
attorneys and
spent.
priests.
One may see in certain biblical movies a graphic image of the meaning of public monument building, the building of the pyramids, hordes of starved, ragged, emaciated men straining the last effort of their inadequate muscles at the inhuman task of pulling the ropes. They drag large chunks of stone, straining like tortured beasts and burn under the whips of overseers, collapsing on the job and dying in the desert sands, that a dead pharaoh might lie in an impossibly senseless structure, and thus gain eternal prestige in the eyes of the unborn of future generations. Temples and palaces are the only monuments left of mankind's early civilizations. They were created by the same means and at the same price, a price not justified by the fact that primitive peoples undoubtedly believed, while dying of starvation and exhaustion, that the prestige of their tribe, their rulers, or their gods was of value to them somehow. Rome fell bankrupted by statist controls and taxation, while its emperors were building colosseums. Louis XIV of France taxed his people into a state. Rand, The Virtue of Selfishness, page 103, The Monument Builders. Ayn Rand's The Virtue of Selfishness, The Monument Builders, chapter 11. Socialism may be established by force, as in the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, or by vote, as in Nazi, National Socialist Germany. The degree of socialization may be total, as in Russia, or partial, as in England. Theoretically, the differences are superficial. Practically, they are only a matter of time. The basic principle in all cases is the same. The alleged goals of socialism were the abolition of poverty, the achievement of general prosperity, progress, peace, and human brotherhood. The results have been a terrifying failure. Terrifying. That is, if one's motive is men's welfare. Instead of prosperity, socialism has brought economic paralysis and or collapse to every country that tried it. The degree of socialization has been the degree of disaster. The consequences have varied accordingly. England, once the freest and proudest nation of Europe, has been reduced to the status of a second-rate power and is perishing slowly from hemophilia, losing the rest of her economic blood, the middle class, and the professions. The able, competent, productive, independent men are leaving by the thousands, migrating to Canada or the United States in search of freedom. They are escaping from the reign of mediocrity, from the mawkish poorhouse where, having sold their rights in exchange for free dentures, the inmates are now whining that they'd rather be red than dead. In more fully socialized countries, famine was the start. The insignia announcing socialist rules in Soviet Russia, as in Red China, as in Cuba. In those countries, socialism reduced